James Jones, you shot me this text last night. I was at the crib watching the show, whatever I may have been doing, saw my phone dinged. I said, oh, what James sending me? You sent me a little bit of chaos, drama brewing in the locker rooms of New York. Is Robert Saleh, the head coach, in danger of losing his locker room?
Yeah, the main reason why I sent it to you is because Shady had a good day yesterday, and I was right on this because I said this yesterday. I said, you can't try to save one and lose the other 52, and that's what is happening. We've all been in locker rooms up here, and when stuff is not going the right way, you're looking at that person next to your locker, man, I don't even know what we doing, man. We need to run the ball a little bit more. Hey, man, they need to spin it over here to me. Like, you have them conversations. So right now, Robert Saleh, that's what's going on in the locker room. Man, how long we finna stick with Zach Wilson? Like, do they not see? Like, I'm open, bruh. So you're having them conversations to which now the locker room don't believe in Zach Wilson. When this thing first started, it's all good, right? We want to see if Zach Wilson has took those next steps. Aaron Rodgers has been their mentor, right? We want to see it. Don't give up on him right now. See if he can take them there. But these past 2 weeks, he has shown you that he's not. He has shown you that everybody on the team is worse when he is under center, right? And you can't score 15 points in a football game. That's not good. So as an organization, if you keep on, and as a head coach, keep on coming into that podium saying Zach Wilson is our guy and Zach is this and that, and in the locker room, they like, man, no, he's not. That is the quickest way to losing a team. Zach Wilson has shown us with our own two eyes that he is not that guy. I don't care if you bring in another quarterback and you still start Zach Wilson for 1 or 2 more weeks, but at least you're letting the team know I'm trying to do something about it. Right? It's not a lot of big-time quarterbacks out there, so it's not like we can do too much about it. But we see you guys. We see the other 52 men on this roster. We are going to try to do something about this. And right now, what they showing them, they ain't doing nothing about it. And that screams broken locker room, losing the locker room by the head coach.
Yeah, he is in danger of losing the locker room. He's in danger of losing a lot more than that. But this is what I've been saying since Aaron Rodgers went down. You spent... Really, I can't even say the offseason. You started the middle of last season telling us that Zach Wilson wasn't the guy. You benched him. Then you spent the whole offseason trying to acquire Aaron Rodgers. Then you bring in Aaron Rodgers. You take him all around town. And we've got Hard Knocks and every interview and dusty Super Bowl trophies and taking over the East and all this, all while Zach Wilson is in the background and he's out of sight, out of mind. You pitched us on this new beginning, this new future. And then Aaron Rodgers is out and we're like, oh, no, just kidding, Zach. Come, here we go. Here he is. He's our guy. Well, I don't believe you because I watched Zach Wilson play last year, and I watched you bench him, and I watched you abandon him. But so did everyone else in the locker room, and they see him every day. They were so happy he was out last year, they was wearing T-shirts from Mike White, who ain't even on the team anymore.
True.
The backup. Can you imagine wearing a shirt to practice for the backup quarterback, Shady?
Yeah.
You know how bad it is there to
That's
do that?
bad.
How did you even get them made?
Yeah.
Who even sent those to you?
And there's a lot of them.
You had them printed overnight.
Yeah.
So the situation is bad. It's getting worse. I understand maybe you got in a bad situation, and for the moment, we got to talk up Zach Wilson until we figure out what we're going to do. Right. But let's be serious. Zach Wilson is not getting better. He's in his 3rd year. He should be getting better, and he's not. And he is in a better situation than some of the other guys in his class. He has a team that we thought Aaron Rodgers could just play average with and get to a Super Bowl. And he can't even win with that. He can't even play. Let's say Zach Wilson's the best version of Zach Wilson is average Aaron Rodgers, right? So, I mean, that math should link up to they would still be winning. And the offense is bad. He's still not improving. You pitched me on a different story, and now you're trotting out a different actor.
I mean, it's 2 starts. He ain't scored over 10. That's tough. It's tough to win like that.
Yeah, well, I think he's in danger of losing the locker room. I can honestly say that. As a head coach, right, the players, the assistant coaches, the training staff, everybody is following the head coach. He's the leader, right? And then it sprinkles down. So to most teams, it's the quarterback. Or there's some other player that's like the leader of the team. So initially, when they bench Zach Wilson and other players last year stepped up, I get it. He's playing bad, cool. But then in the offseason, they get Aaron Rodgers, who's a Hall of Famer, et cetera, can teach my young player how to practice, how to watch tape, how to be a better player. I get that. And the preseason games, Zach Wilson, he looked decent.
He looked solid.
He looked solid. Okay, wow, another step. Maybe he got better. So I get the thought of, okay, let's just try to use him. Aaron Rodgers hurt. He showed some improvement in the preseason. Let's play him. But then once he showed that he's not capable of doing it, incompetent of getting the offense going, putting points up, putting drives together. Once you show that, it's time to make different choices. Because if you don't, you got guys like Quinn Williams. You got guys like Sauce Gardner that's like, yo, look, man, I'm giving it all I got, and I'm trying to win. And now you talk about them conversations, they happen all the time.
No doubt.
Because it goes from, hey, look, coach, because I'm sure players, the vets or the leaders, coach, we can't win with Zach. I don't know if you see it, coach, or not, but he's throwing picks. He's not good. We can't win with him. Once that's figured out that we can't win with him, and that's how the team feels, as a coach, you got to make moves. Because if you don't, as young guys that come in the locker room, pouting, pissed off, why should I play hard if we're not trying to win? Why are we not trying to win? Because our coach is not trying to put the best quarterback or make different moves to win. For example, Taylor Heineke, you could get a bridge quarterback that can win games. Guy like Cooper Rush. You know, not to even talk about if it's Dak or Cooper Rush, but having a quarterback that's a bridge guy that can win games until the starter gets back. If the Jets had a quarterback like that, there'll be a lot more of these games than they are. But until then, you're going to lose the locker room, and you're going to lose his job.
There's bridge quarterbacks out there.
It's a lot of them. Don't tell me you're rocking with him. I will leave this set.
No, I just disagree. I disagree. I don't think he's in danger of losing the locker room. I think he's in danger of losing games. But I think to myself, I'm like, something that's only metaphorically obtained can't be literally lost. Lose the locker room, that to me is journalistic jargon. That's things that journalists come up with, figures of speech, to try to talk about something that doesn't actually occur. March 3rd, 2014, the Eagles traded LeSean McCoy for a bag of chips. March 10th, 2014, the Eagles traded Nick Foles to the St. Louis Rams at the time, I believe they were. Yep. March 11th, 2014, Jeremy Maclin was signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Eagles did not offer him. March 28th, the Eagles released Deshaun Jackson. June 11th, the Eagles chose not to re-sign All-Pro guard Evan Mathis. Chip didn't lose the locker room. We just were sorry. And we lost games because we lost talent. But we didn't lose the locker room because players don't play for a coach. Players play for money. Players play for their family. Players play for status. Players might play for women, players that I know. But I don't know that I've ever played for a coach. Maybe a game. Mac Brown's last game, College Football Hall of Fame head coach Clyde recruited me. Maybe a game. You brought up a great point. Dennis Allen, hey, we got to go win this game for him. Obviously, as you brought up, y'all still lost and y'all proceeded to lose the next 7 and he got fired. Maybe Justin Herbert played for Brandon Staley, maybe. But Justin Herbert also set a rookie record before Brandon Staley was his head coach. So I don't think he played for Brandon Staley. So my thought process is players do not play for a coach. When Chip traded Shady my dog. I'm working with Shady literally 10 years later. I knew Shady at 21. I'm now 32. Shady is my dog. When Chip traded Shady, I was like, dang.
I got a question for you.
Well, I still got to go get mine.
This is my question. 2 questions for you. So wait, your coach was Chip Kelly for the Eagles. Yep. The Browns was who's your coach?
Browns was Rob.
One of them guys, right? So my first question is
Pat Sherman.
When he got, I like Pat, but I'm gonna give it to Pat too. When he got rid of me, Deshaun, he didn't sign Evan Mathis. He got rid of Nick Foles. Oh. So I get your point, right? You still got to do your job.
Have to. But did your thoughts of Chip Kelly as a coach and a person change?
1000%.
Bet. 1000%.
Right? So now you didn't play for no good coaches. I'm gonna just say that right now. Right. When you play for a guy like Andy Reid, I'm being serious.
You playing for him.
Yes. Okay? Yo, if we let him down, no, that's us. We messed that up. Andy Reid, that's us. When you play for a coach that will make you run through a wall if he says that, right? Because you got that much belief and that trust in him. Hey, guys, I need y'all in here. Look. I ain't doing no fines, right? Sure. I want y'all to be respectful, be on time.
Sure.
Guess what? Before I left Philadelphia, I never knew anything about no fine system.
Sure. When
I went to the Bills, there was fine system. I'm like, what's a fine system? If you're late, you're in trouble. Because Andy Reid, we didn't play with him because that much respect.
Let me come back to you.
Because if you play for a good coach,
I don't want to do this.
I want to get in.
I don't want to do this to you.
Well, do what you got to do then.
Shady, what year did you lead the league in rushing?
13, 14?
2013. Who's your head coach?
Chip Kelly.
You had your best year under a coach that you weren't playing for.
Not my best year.
Statistically.
Not my best year.
Okay, I'm not. Objectively, statistically,
okay.
You had your best year. So my simple point is that, players play because players got to play. What? So C.J. Mosley isn't going to be like, man, Zach Wilson out there, I'm going to go be sorry.
But losing the locker room, sorry, James, losing the locker room isn't about people's ability to do their job.
Right. What's it about?
You play different when you know you can win and you're playing to win something and when you're just going to work. There are lots of teams that before the season even started know they're just going to work. There are teams that halfway through the season know they're just going to work. Yeah. And then there are teams that go in like, no, we're not going to work.
Right.
We're going to win a championship. We're going on a playoff run. We're actually better than we thought we were at the beginning of the season. We got to be serious. There is a human element to sports. This is not fantasy football. Yes, the coach can be inspiring. Yes, the coach can say something that'll make you run through a wall. But it's also, do I see the other person on the field with me as somebody that can help me be my best self? That's what losing the locker room is.
Yeah.
They just said those conversations happen.
Here's why I disagree, James. Here's why I disagree. Well, here's why I disagree with what you're saying, Joy. Who did we all think this season was going to be the worst team in football?
The Bears. And I think they
Cardinals.
still are.
The Cardinals.
Okay, what does that mean? It's close.
It's close. But obviously it was Vegas at least said, maybe not Shady.
Cardinals.
Vegas thought it was the Cardinals.
Oh, Justin Fields.
Cardinals just beat what Vegas thought was the best team in football Sunday.
Yeah.
Not only that, the Cardinals played hard the 2 weeks beforehand. Last week, the Houston Texans were the worst team in football.
Yeah.
But when the Texans played out there every single week, every single time, even against the Eagles, Texans played tough. Texans this year, they're not supposed to be good. They just got themselves a win. Colts trotted out Gardner Minshew, a person I think highly of, but a lot of people don't. They just beat the Ravens. So the only reason I disagree with that, Joy, is because players have to play for so much more. And again, I was a backup, so I have a different experience than you, I will acknowledge that, America. But at least I had to play for so much more than my coach. I had to play for my job.
But Quinnen Williams doesn't, because he has a contract.
Let me get
Sauce
in.
Gardner doesn't, because he's going to get his money.
Let me get
Garrett
in.
Wilson doesn't. Breece Hall doesn't. Those are stars, and they're going to be stars, and there's a whole lot more that I didn't mention. So they're going to work regardless.
Yeah. Let me get in on this. You mentioned those names, Deshaun Jackson. You mentioned Nick Foles.
Macklin.
You mentioned Macklin,
Shady,
right? All them dudes probably in your phone right now, right?
That's right.
Which means them dudes is your brothers. Is it any coaches' offices in the locker room?
Not in the locker room.
No,
Coach.
so when you lose the locker room, right, and we're blaming it on Saleh, but it has to do with the players. Who's the quarterback for the Cardinals right now? Dobbs?
Dobbs, yes, sir.
Right. You
Yes,
see
sir.
how he played these first 3 weeks? The Cardinals think they could win with him. The locker room thinks that they can win with him. So the conversation in their locker room, like, bro, Dobbs playing pretty good, bro. We get some stops on defense. That's the conversation. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe they can win with Zach Wilson. So that's why that's losing the locker room, because the coaches keep putting him out there. And he's shown them that they can't win with him. So now as I'm Garrett Wilson, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna give me the ball anyway. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna go across the middle and get hurt. Bro gonna get me hurt.
Yes.
You know, I've been out there when Aaron Rodgers got hurt with quarterbacks like Scott Tolzien that y'all don't know. Seneca Wallace, right? Where you barely get to see the ball coming out.
Yep.
He gonna get me hurt.
Yep.
Right? So when you play in the game and you're like, man, I don't even think this quarterback capable of getting me the ball, your game changes, whether you like it or not. Same thing in the locker room. Defense, we gonna be on the football field for a very long time. He ain't capable of getting the W's. That's a loss of the locker room.
What I love about this conversation, I think everybody's coming different vantage points. Because it's interesting. In 2015, I was in the situation you're speaking of. And again, I don't want to shade anybody, but Sam Bradford was the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Running Chip's zone read offense. DeMarco Murray was the starting running back for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Running Chip's zone read offense. I was like, bro, I know we about to be sorry. We had to be sorry. Like, schematically, we were sorry. Roster-wise, we were sorry. I think Miles Austin, great at the time previously, he was like our number 2. I knew we was going to be sorry.
Yeah.
But D'Amico Ryans, our starting middle linebacker, he didn't change. Malcolm Jenkins, our starting safety, he didn't change again. I'm only speaking from my experience, so I won't rob y'all yours. Yeah. But I'm just saying, in this situation, which I have literally witnessed firsthand,
man,
you might know you're going to be sorry, but your guys...
But in that situation... But in that situation...
you were going to be sorry. The Jets thought that we're talking about the Super Bowl. Those players in that locker room still want to win. They went into the mindset this season of competing for a championship. Not just, oh, we know we're going to be sorry. That's what we're talking about, is those players don't want to submit to know we're going to be sorry. They want to still believe the mantra and everything that they were saying in the offseason up until now.
But not only that, those players proved something in this game. Bradford, Murray, they proved something in this game. So the backup probably wasn't even better. He might be in the wrong system, but he probably wasn't better than Bradford, right? The backup running back at the time probably wasn't better than Murray. So those dudes, Zach ain't proved nothing but losing football games and making everybody around him not good.
I just push back on the fact of, like, you can get players, like, and when they fired Andy Reid, I cried. I was hurt because I knew how good of a coach he was. I knew how much he meant to the team. A guy like Chip Kelly, yeah, I might have my best years because he just gave me the ball more than any other coach. It wasn't like he did anything special. But my thing with him is, when he moved on, players didn't care. They was clapping. Next. You see what I'm saying? When you got a player or a coach that you want to play for, you'll go out and do whatever for him.
No
you
question.
talked about D'Amico Ryans. He's a coach now.
Of course.
But as a player, though, right? You believe what he said.
Of course.
Yo, it's OG on following everything he said. Not because he was a good player, because of the things he said, his work ethic. You believed in him. What's the difference between that and a coach? The same way he was as a player, he's as a coach. And now them players, right, they're going to feel the same way. Like, yo, what did D'Amico say? Bet, we got a chance. Yeah, I know we've been sorry for years, but we got a new coach. It's different. It's a different storyline here. So I just push back when you talk about players not really having that thing for a coach to play for them, because I truly disagree. But
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen, real quick. Like Travis Kelce, right? How good he is. You think he would take a pay cut on any other team?
No, I don't think
A
so.
lot of it has to do with Andy Reid.
I don't think so.
And his brothers in that locker room.
Chris Jones, right? Now, granted, he did come back, but I know Chris Jones well, and I know his agents well. If it was Andy Reid, he ain't even coming back even for this extra year. No, I'm good till you get my money right. When you have a coach like that, you're willing to take chances and risks that you would never take. The same thing having a great quarterback, a Patrick Mahomes, a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When I'm getting there, I don't want to get too deep in it because I'm starting to get emotional. Like, you know.
No, and I understand where Acho's coming from, because at the end of the day, you got to go out there and get your job done because you're getting paid. This is your job. You're not in college anymore.
Yeah.
But I've been on teams that are really, really talented, and I've been on teams that the locker room was really, really close. You understand? And that is different.
That is different.
We won a Super Bowl because we were really, really close. When I looked at Jordy, and now I'm looking at Joy because she on my team, I got you.
Yep.
No matter what. I don't care if it's 1 ball, 15 ball, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So in the locker room right now, they know that Zach Wilson don't got him. So now the conversations that's happening in the locker room, like, man, I don't want to get hurt. You can't go. We all know you can't play no sport thinking about not getting hurt, right? So now you got them type of situations going through people's minds and all that, you know, and you cannot have that. And as a coach, it starts with you, but we really talking about Zach because this team don't believe in Zach. And he's going to lose the locker room continuing to put Zach in there. If you don't have a really close locker room, good luck trying to win any games with any players.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that number. I think they will lose. For sure, they will lose games. Will he lose the locker room? Well, Robert Saleh, that is up to you.
I lost my parlay, so, I mean.
All right, family, before we head to break, it's time for Speak Trivia. I need you all to tweet at us the answer.
Oh, that's shady. That's bad balls.
Question. That does look like shady for sure. Who holds the NFL record for most receptions in a single game? Okay, it's obviously not.
Brandon Marshall. Bang!
That's an easy one.
Brandon Marshall.
Whose record did he break?
Who was the quarterback?
That throw him the ball?
Yeah.
Jay Cutler?
Yeah.
Whose record did he break, though? Who had it before him?
I mean, you might as well reveal it. Andy, you got whooped on this one.
Come on.
Andy, who comes up with these questions. Can y'all reveal it? Heller Coleman, can y'all reveal it? It's coming. Go ahead, because
He gonna like this.
Shady just straight up top row.
And I know how much it was, too.
How many?
21 receptions.
21 receptions.
Am I right, Andy?
He gonna take your job. He's coming for your job off camera. Off camera, he coming for your job. All right, that is it. When we return, y'all, we have to talk about the breaking Dame Lillard trade. It might be the biggest trade of the 2020s in the NBA. Don't miss it. Come back for that.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.